Food delivery company Good Uncle will now offer students the chance to purchase meal plans. CitrusTV reporter Greg Bradbury will have more on the story.
And former First Lady Barbara Bush has died at the age of 92. Find out how the country plans to mourn her passing.
And I'm here outside Theta Tau. The Syracuse chapter of the fraternity was suspended this morning. I have the details on why. CitrusTV News starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
The SU Theta Tau engineering fraternity is suspended after a video surfaced of members making offensive comments. Good evening, I'm Federico.
And I'm Rebekah Castor. In an announcement today, Chancellor Severud said the university is immediately suspending the co-ed fraternity and that DPS is launching a formal investigation.
CitrusTV reporter Conor Wight is in front of the Chancellor's house with more information on the contents of the alleged videos and information on a planned protest outside the house. Connor?
Guys, I'm here outside the Theta Tau Syracuse chapter, which was suspended this morning after details emerged of videos with highly offensive content. Chancellor Kent Severud sent an email to the SU community detailing what was in some of those videos. He says that the students were extremely racist, anti-Semitic, homophobic, sexist, and hostile to people with disabilities. Now, this is especially rare because the Chancellor does not usually comment on fraternity suspensions. They are the fourth fraternity to be suspended this academic year after Sigma Alpha Mu was suspended last week for hazing. Now today there was an event at Hendricks Chapel which allowed members of the SU community to come and discuss. There were several Syracuse University leaders, including SA President James Franco. He is calling for an audit of Greek life, saying that Greek life needs to be overhauled going forward and more investigations need to be given. DPS also says that they are interviewing members of the fraternity that they say were in the video but cannot provide other comment right now. With regards to the video, it has not been officially released yet, but the Daily Orange claims that they do have it. They have released a transcript with an article as well. We'll let you know if this is officially released. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Connor. And after the Chancellor's email, Hendricks Chapel held an open discussion to talk about the campus community. Chancellor Severud was in attendance, as well as DPS Chief Bobby Maldonado and Hendricks Dean Brian Conkle.
The discussion steered in a number of different directions. Some students demanded that they wanted to see the Theta Tau video, while others spoke up about students of color not feeling comfortable on campus.
Chancellor Severud said this will not be the last meeting they will hold about the issue. SA President and Vice President-elects Ghufran Salih and Kyle Rosenblum were also in attendance and spoke with CitrusTV after the event.
They talked a lot about hearing student voices, but those student voices being understood and being followed up with and being honored.
We also have a lot of programs on campus that address these issues, but they're reactionary. They're always resources after the fact, or they're programs after something happens and we're addressing it after the fact, and that needs to stop. We need to have programs in place that are actively addressing these issues, and the programs we have now that are kind of doing that are just not adequate enough, and those need to be expanded on. They need to be more available to students. They need to be requirements for students, and that needs to happen now.
And just recently, SA President James Franco sent out an email to the student body with a call to action. There will be a student-led discussion at 7 o'clock tonight in Hendricks Chapel.
This is so more students can attend the event with no conflicts with class schedules. SA is strongly encouraging that students attend. And earlier today, different language departments gathered onto the patio of HBC and offered students a chance to taste test different foods from around the world. Some of the foods included pasta from the Italian classes and panadas from the Spanish language classes and candy from the Korean department.
Department of Languages, Literature and Linguistics wants to show the beauty of the cultures and also give you a taste of it. That's why we have so many different, not only cultures and languages here, but also foods. Food is important for the culture.
And in other Greek life news, Sigma Chi is hosting a sexual assault awareness vigil tonight at Sims Hall. Pan-Hellenic sororities and fraternities were invited to attend. The group will start off in front of Sims and walk to the Hendricks Chapel steps. There's expected to be a guest speaker, and attendees will sign a pledge to work towards putting an end to sexual assault across college campuses. The event starts at 8 o'clock. And some good news for the Syracuse University campus. The top 30 most dangerous upstate New York colleges were ranked, and SU did not make the list. However, our neighbors at Pomeroy College of Nursing at Krause Hospital were #1. Other students that made the list were Upstate Medical University at number 11, Colgate University at 19, and Cornell University at 30. The data comes from the U.S. Department of Education.
Good Uncle offered students the chance to have a meal plan this semester during the school year, and CitrusTV reporter Greg Bradbury will tell us whether or not it was successful and the company's plans for the coming year.
Good Uncle began in Syracuse in 2016 as a cheap way for students to have food delivered to them on campus. This year, they offered SU students the opportunity to have a meal plan with their company.
So offering that in a meal plan was kind of a natural thing for us. As we said, it's gonna help students, and that's our whole mission.
With the help of these vehicles, Good Uncle's goal is to give students a better meal at a less expensive price than dining halls can offer. Most students have turned to Good Uncle for food every now and then, but those with food allergies have turned to Good Uncle as an alternative to the dining hall.
So I noticed early on last semester that Ernie did not have a lot of dairy-free options, and I have a dairy allergy. So when looking at the Good Uncle meal plan, I noticed that you could customize their menu options, so I decided to go for that.
The recent success led the company to expand in the coming year by nearly a third of their current coverage.
All metrics say that everything is going well, and I think we do a really good job of talking with students and making sure that we are hitting the mark with them and making sure that, their needs are met, and if we need to change things and tweak things because of that, we're happy to.
However, their recent success may have led to some issues for those with a food allergy.
Like their company grew too fast, I think, because they have a great product, but they weren't able to keep up with the demand because they keep messing up and putting dairy in my order, even though they know I have an allergy, and I have to complain time and time again. And they answer me all the time, which is great, but it's like a consistent issue.
The company focuses on addressing these issues and talking to students to get them fixed.
I think being flexible and listening to students is definitely the theme of what we do.
While this may seem to rival the SU meal plan, Food Services Director Mark Tewksbury says the Good Uncle program complements SU Food Services and is always open to new ideas that make the student experience better. Greg Bradbury, Citrus TV News.
So Greg, back in studio here. You just talked about the company's expansion. Where can we expect to see them next year?
So as of right now, they're here in Syracuse, but in addition to that, they're also in Maryland and Delaware, and they're going to be expanding all throughout the East Coast, including schools such as like Villanova and George Washington and even Penn State University. So they're really expanding rather quickly, and it's great food, and college students love it.
So that's great that they're expanding location-wise, but are they going to be expanding their menu?
So as of right now, if you have the student meal plan, you already get exclusive meals that you can only get if you have the meal plan. But Good Uncle is really a company that focuses on what students want. So as they get more feedback from different students and from different students across the East Coast even, I can only imagine that the menu really expands for everyone.
All right, thank you so much, Greg.
The city of Syracuse is turning rundown buildings into affordable apartments on the north side. A groundbreaking ceremony was held yesterday to begin work on Butternut Crossing. The nearly $16.5 million project will be a 7-building development with more than 50 new apartments. Most of the apartments will be reserved for people earning lower incomes.
And the New York State Fair is right around the corner, and the country group Big and Rich is performing. The pair will play at Chevy Corps along with the country rapper Cowboy Troy on Friday, August 31st at 8 p.m. The Big and Rich concert and all the shows at Chevy Corps are free with the price of admission. This year's fair will run August 22nd to September 3rd. And today was cloudy and in the 40s, but the wind made it seem quite cooler, but at least we didn't see any snow flurries.
Yeah, that's right. Winds topped out at nearly 20 miles per hour, and weather anchor Jessica Torricelli is in studio to break down these windy conditions.
Exactly. So those temps today were about in the 40s, but they felt more like the mid-30s with winds that almost reached about 20 miles per hour. They started out today at 17 miles per hour around 11 a.m. Then by 12, we got to 16 miles per hour. And now about 6 p.m., 9 miles per hour. And as we get towards the night, we'll be seeing a lot less wind. So that's great news. But tomorrow, we could be seeing snow flurries about 4 to 5 a.m. starting up and going into the afternoon. I'll tell you just when we can see these snowy conditions coming up in my full weather forecast.
Thanks, Jess. Coming up, CIA Director Mike Pompeo meets with Kim Jong-un. Find out what the President Trump had to say about it.
And why the second power outage to hit Puerto Rico in 2 weeks is a world record. Don't go away.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's smoky!
It looks as if smoky He's going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch. Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Barbara Bush has died at 92 years old. The former First Lady was the wife of George H.W. Bush and mother of George W. Bush.
Her family stated last week that Barbara Bush was stopping medical treatment and living in comfort at home. The specific causes of her medical condition were not made clear.
Along with being a former First Lady, Bush was also known for her efforts to increase family literacy.
Current CIA Director and Secretary of State nominee Mike Pompeo met with Kim Jong-un of North Korea last week.
President Trump said in a tweet that the meeting between the two went very smoothly. This comes after Trump said very high levels of talks were underway between the U.S. and North Korea during a joint news conference with the Japanese Prime Minister.
President Trump and Kim Jong-un are expected to meet face-to-face in May or June.
And more information is surfacing over a Southwest engine fail that killed one passenger yesterday afternoon. According to officials, the left engine of the Boeing 737 broke apart in mid-air. Debris smashed through a window near the left wing.
A mother of two, identified as 43-year-old Jennifer Royden, was sucked toward the hole in the window. She was pulled back in by other passengers but later died from her injuries.
According to the National Transportation Board, an investigation showed that one of the engine's 24 fan blades was missing.
President Trump and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe are meeting at Mar-a-Lago today.
The two leaders are expected to discuss Trump's upcoming talks with North Korea's Kim Jong-un and the tariffs Trump has placed on Japanese steel and aluminum.
The meeting comes as both leaders are under fire for domestic scandals, Trump for the Russia probe and Abe for alleged influence peddling.
Cuba's National Assembly opened a historic session today to shift power outside of the Castro family for the first time in 60 years.
Cuba's state news services said that 605 assembly members would vote for the nation's next president.
It is widely expected that 57-year-old Vice President Miguel Diaz-Canel will be selected to succeed current leader Raul Castro. Castro will still remain head of the powerful Communist Party in Cuba.
Turkey will hold snap elections on June 24th, a year earlier than planned. Turkish President Erdogan says the elections are necessary to switch the country to an executive presidency.
This isn't the first big change in Turkey's government. A referendum last year changed the country from a parliamentary republic to a presidential one.
Turkey is set to vote later today on whether or not to extend the state of emergency in place since last year's failed coup.
The entire island of Puerto Rico has gone dark nearly 7 months after Hurricane Maria. Authorities say a contractor caused the outage and it should be fixed within 3 days.
The blackout comes only a week after a fallen tree knocked out half the power on the island.
Hurricane Maria has caused Puerto Rico more than 3.4 billion hours of lost electricity. An economic research group says this makes it the second longest blackout in the world's history.
And coming up, we'll have another look at our full weather forecast with CitrusTV weather reporter Jessica Torricelli.
And a protest is taking place right now outside the chancellor's house. We'll have more on this with CitrusTV reporter Conor Wight after the break.
What are you, superheroes?
Just four brothers who hate bullies and love this city. Gear up, guys.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
So as we mentioned earlier, not only was wind an issue here, but also in the southeast. And take a look at this video that shows flames coming from a Colorado house. There are major fires in the southeast, and that is not being helped by 30-mile-per-hour winds. And those wind gusts are going to continue tomorrow and into the next day. And there's already a drought to much of the southeast, so that's not making any of these flames go down any quicker. And then you can see the firefighters here just looking at what they can do. And then this is fire from Oklahoma, and pretty much widespread throughout both of those states. Now, 2 people have died in Oklahoma as a result of these fires. But going back to Syracuse now, we see some snow here on the radar, and that's going to be moving into Syracuse tomorrow morning all the way through Friday. So we're going to be seeing snow tomorrow and Friday. And taking a look at our current radar right now, there's not too much to look at, but when it comes to tomorrow morning, that snow is going to begin around 4 to 5 a.m. and stay with us for the morning part, and then maybe a little early afternoon and clear out, and then we're going to have rain for most of the rest of that day, and then maybe snow later on tomorrow night, but snow for most of the day on Friday, about 40% chance. Taking a look at our stormy day forecast tomorrow, as I said, most of the day is going to be pretty rainy. We might see some ice because of snow in the morning and at night, a high of 38, and then towards the end of the day we see temperatures going to 30, so getting colder and below that freezing line. 5-day forecast here, we see some rain, some snow, and then a fun fact here, we got some sun on Sunday, so maybe a little bit of clear skies coming to us to make this season feel more like spring. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks Jessica so much. And we still have Conor Wight, who is live outside the chancellor's house right now, and we're going to go to him and see what's going on out there.
Guys, here outside Ken Sibbert's house, a protest began at around 6 o'clock, calling for the release of the videos that contain the offensive Theta Tau members. Now, this was started on social media and has gathered a large crowd. As you can see, there are easily over 100 people here, and they have signs reading they want the video released. This isn't representative of the student body, and as the protest goes on, they're planning on moving to the Theta Tau house just down the street, and then they're moving to Hendricks Chapel. And at around 7 o'clock, James Franco has called for a call to action where other members of the SU community will be to discuss the video. Guys?
Thank you, Conor. Continue to follow Citrus TV on Twitter, Citrus TV News, for live updates as they come in.
In Syracuse, an up-and-coming star coach in Liverpool and brothers will face off in the Carrier Dome this weekend. Stick around to find out who. Citrus TV News will be right back.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. So wet.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Matt Liberman, and coming off a win against North Carolina, Syracuse finished the ACC regular season undefeated for the second year in a row on the backs of freshman Brendan Curry. And SU will need all the help it can get from its freshmen when it takes on a hungry Navy team this weekend in the Carrier Dome. But Curry says at this point in the season, he doesn't feel like a newcomer.
At this point in the season, I try and think of myself not really as a freshman anymore. I mean, we've all played the same amount this season, so just get my confidence is a big thing, and then just being confident throughout the stretch. I have great teammates, very encouraging. So, I mean, it's yeah, it was just really fun being out there.
Saturday's game against Navy gets going at 2 o'clock. The top storyline to look out for comes at the faceoff X. SU faceoff specialist Danny Varela will be going up against his own brother, Joseph, who plays the same position for Navy. And well, it looks like Jim Boeheim has some competition. Liverpool basketball head coach Ryan Blackwell has been named the New York State Coach of the Year. Blackwell led the Warriors to a 26-1 record and a Class AA sectional title. In 3 years at Liverpool, he already has 2 of those sectional titles. But let's not forget about Joseph Girard. The Glen Falls Jr. has been named the USA Today New York State Player of the Year after averaging 50 points per game this season and becoming New York State's all-time leading scorer. Syracuse has been actively trying to sign the combo guard. Jim Boeheim visited him just 2 days ago. And back here on the Hill, it may look like winter outside, but we're in the heat of softball season. SU hosted Niagara today in a doubleheader at Syracuse Skytop Softball Stadium. Coming off a win against Louisville, Syracuse took down the Purple Eagles 10-6 in the first game, and the two teams are currently tied at 0 apiece in game number 2. And softball season also means baseball season. The Syracuse Chiefs hosted a special game themselves today. 4 pitchers combined for a no-hitter today against Indianapolis. It was the first Syracuse no-hitter since the year 2000, and it marked the 17th no-no in team history. The Chiefs won this game 5-0. And well, it's gotten to this time of the year already, when the Mets begin to slide. After starting out the season 12-1, New York has lost 3 of its last 4 and 2 straight against the Nationals. The Mets look to avoid a sweep tonight against Washington. Steven Matz gets the bump for New York, and Tanner Roark will be on the mound for the Nats. First pitch is at 7:10. And the first round of the NHL playoffs continues tonight. We've got 4 games in action for you. The Penguins, Lightning, and Predators all look to move their series leads to 3-1, while the Flyers, Devils, and Avalanche look to tie things up. And one series could end tonight. The Sharks hold a 3-0 series lead against the Ducks and face Anaheim on their home ice. And we've got NBA playoff action as well. LeBron James and the Cavaliers look to even their series against the Pacers in front of a home crowd. It marked the first time LeBron has lost a first game of an opening round since he was with the Miami Heat. Out west, Houston looks to make it 2-0 at home against the Timberwolves, and the Jazz look to even things up at OKC. That's been it for sports. Citrus TV News will be right back.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
And that's your full 5-day forecast right there. There's some rain and snow tomorrow in the forecast. In the morning, we'll see some snowy conditions and then rain throughout the day and some snow maybe later on at night. Friday, we're going to see snow throughout the day, about a 40% chance most likely. Saturday, partly cloudy skies. Sunday, mostly sunny with maybe a little bit of cloud cover. Monday, partly cloudy. So we're getting a little warmer. It's getting into the 60s and we're getting a little sunnier. I mean, last week it was pretty much the same as we saw this week, but we might see some change.
Well, I know you said that we'll probably see flurries tomorrow, so about what time can we expect the flurries to start coming down?
They're going to start coming about 4 a.m. tomorrow, so no one's really going to be up, but when you wake up, you're going to see probably about an inch of accumulation in the morning and maybe about an inch of accumulation at night.
And you see the sun's coming back on your 5-day forecast, so are we expecting that to stick around for a while? Can we finally find spring here in central New York?
You know, I think maybe this is a chance. I think this weekend we're going to be seeing some sun conditions and maybe into next week, early Monday and Tuesday as well.
And then I know we're all thinking, Mayfest is not this weekend, but next weekend. Do you have any predictions for weather on that day?
So my prediction, I think it's going to snow because my freshman year it did, and I think it's more than likely. I don't think we're going to have much luck with sun.
Oh, that's just too disappointing.
That would be truly poetic, Jess. And begin where warm water halts and take it in the canyon down.
Not far, but too far to walk, but in below the home of Brown.
Now, there's some poetry there. We know what you may be thinking, but no, Rebekah and I are not dabbling in our own careers in poetry. The stanza we just read is from a 24-line poem written by 87-year-old millionaire Forrest Fenn.
The poem, according to Fenn's Instagram, is actually a clue to a treasure chest worth millions of dollars. Fenn hid the chest somewhere in the Rockies nearly 8 years ago.
Fenn estimates that the more than 300,000 people that have searched for the chest in the Rockies. Wow, that's pretty wild. I can't really pick up on any of those cues, but if I had them, I wish we could go see.
Yeah, I'm excited for the person that finds that treasure chest. And that's all we have for tonight. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at CitrusTV News. From all of us at Citrus TV, I'm Rebekah Castor.
And I'm Connor Federico. Thanks for watching, and have a good night, Syracuse.